Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Sir Spam28 here, bringing you some more World of Warships closed beta action. It's going to be another live commentary as we jump into our Tier 5 Japanese battleship, the Kongo. This is a pretty mighty ship. Saw a pretty interesting history during the war and before the war. But looking at this match, it looks like, just looking at the matchmaker, it's almost half destroyers on each team, which doesn't really bode well for a battleship, given that destroyers are the battleship's counter. So we're going to be staying well to the rear of our team and hopefully letting our destroyers and what cruisers we have spot for us and hopefully take out those destroyers. It is a standard match, which is pretty nice. That means that we don't have to wait or don't have to worry about rushing in towards a domination cap point. So I go ahead and lock my guns to this side, because I do think I will be churning to port here to start the match and heading towards that 1-2 line out in the open water where there's no islands for those many destroyers to be hiding behind. Looks like on the enemy team we've got two battleships to worry about, a Mogami, or Myogi I should say. The Mogami is the Japanese cruiser, but the Myogi Tier 4 battleship and a Nagato Tier 7 battleship. So that Nagato might be some trouble. We also have a Myogi on our side and a Fuso on our side. So we're really going to have to, I think, team up against that Nagato to take him down. Looking at the cruisers, we've got an Omaha, a Cleveland, a Pensacola, and a Mogami. And they have a Murmansk, an Aoba, another Aoba, an Atlanta, and a Mogami as well. So I'm not too worried about anything other than the Mogami as far as the cruisers go, and then that Nagato. So the Mogami and the Nagato are definitely going to be my priority targets in this match, and I want to try to stay away from those destroyers. So that's going to be the general game plan, as I said, heading towards this 1-2 line out in the open water, and we can start to see that we're spotting enemy destroyers right off the bat. I am not going to be wasting my main batteries at them, as I have AP loaded at this long range. Let's see if we can't set this guy on fire. Reload the AP. I should say I have an HE loaded at this long range. Just, you know, I can't get some damage done and catch some people on fire. Those shells are probably, oh, I guess they did hit. So, took out two modules, actually. Got 2 crits on that with one of those HE shells. One of his torpedoes for sure, so he's probably going to be spending a reload on that. And here we have a Mogami. So as soon as we get reloaded, he's getting hit by some torpedoes right off the bat. We're going to see if we can't. Aim, 10.2, 10.3, so he's kind of going away, I think. Yeah, he's starting to churn. See if we can't put some firepower on him. Looking at the map while I wait for my guns to reload, and you can see we got 1 hit at that range. Again, still not... The battleship guns are very much RNG. It's like their battleship's still kind of sitting around here, and the destroyers are mostly coming through the slot. This slot on this map, the 8 line, the 8 slot I like to call it, is it sees a lot of really heavy destroyer action. So we gotta actually kind of watch out for that. If they get into and start pressuring our cap, it's not gonna be the greatest thing in the world. Unfortunately, my guns decided to go all wonky there. I should have locked them into place before I decided to move my cursor in weird random circles, but we've got some close range action going on. So Aoba churns, we might get some shots into him. Let's see where those go, if those are flying on target. Yes, they were. So,
enemy cruiser destroyed.
Don't have to waste our other batteries. We still have those up. I'm actually going to start churning around, just because I really didn't like the look of what was going on that 8 line, and our cruisers have kind of already pushed up on this side. So if I can flex back around and then start to look down the 4 line to shoot the enemy team while still putting myself in a position to get back and cover the cap if I need to, that's something that I'm very interested in. We've got the Nagato in range, so we'll start taking pot shots at him. We'll see where those fly, if they're going to be on target or not. It looks like it's a pretty good spread. and get a couple of hits as we wait for our rear turrets to come down. 4.2. It looks like he's kind of closing in a little bit, so we'll adjust here. As our rear turrets get locked in, and then our front turrets reload. Start putting some more shells on him. And hopefully we get some pretty good hits. We've been pretty lucky so far, it seems. Yeah, getting some pretty good damage numbers done. So he's probably not feeling the happiest. He's going out to 4.6. It looks like he's starting to turn away from those torpedoes for sure. So we're going to angle up a little bit. Yep, now as we clear the smoke, we can kind of get a better picture. He's definitely turning away. So we'll put some speculative shots out there, walking them. And this Aoba has kind of wandered up this 4 line towards us, which if we can get our guns reloaded and get shells on target before he wanders back behind that island, he's not going to have a very good day. At 10.5 kilometers, I should be able to get some shots into him, but I think he's going to actually make it behind the island before I get reloaded, which is going to be unfortunate. Let's see. Oh, he's starting to churn, which could be good for us. But he's being engaged by a lot of shells, so we're probably not going to be able to pick up that kill. Indeed, I don't think we got any hits there, but we were able to take him out. But as you can see, this is what I was worried about. They have indeed broken through that 8 slot, so this is why I flexed back to base. So I'm going to go ahead and launch my scout plane to see if I can't pick up that destroyer that's capping our base and get back here and start taking some shots at some people. I don't want to, again, I don't want to be wasting my main batteries at destroyers, so I'm waiting for this cruiser to kind of clear this little headland area. Unfortunately, he's going to be picked up in that destroyer's smoke, so I'm not going to be able to save that. But we have picked up the destroyer that is capping, so I will actually waste my main batteries at him. Just because he is capping, so he is a very much priority target. And we have several of them in the cap here. So we'll see if we can't dodge some torpedoes and at least spot these guys for the cruisers behind me. So we can, you know, get some stuff going on. I'm actually taking pretty much only light damage so far. So I'm going to pop this repair, keep myself pretty healthy as I get in here and spot. And I don't know if this is going to happen or not. I don't know, you know, these guys are using their smoke effectively. And I've gotten into our cap point, so I don't know if that stops it or not. I think it does. So all I got to do is avoid torpedoes and make sure that I can spot these guys out for the cruisers behind me, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be killing on the destroyers. Not me. As long as I start dodging or keep dodging these torpedoes, I should be okay. Because the 5-inch guns of the destroyers, while they're annoying, aren't going to be the worst things in the world. And I'll keep taking speculative shots at the things that are in the cap, just because, again, they are the priority targets. And keep my nose pointed towards them, because I do not want to eat torpedoes. Like these. So having your nose pointed towards where the torpedoes are going to come from just allows you to turn and hopefully avoid the torpedoes. See if that can't swing my ass back around. Yep, able to successfully avoid those. But now we have the Myogi, who has kind of snuck in. So we really got to pour it on this guy. Get some good Citadel hits if we can. But you can see the amount of damage that we're able to do. And I'm not too worried about the Myogi. I think I can take him in a straight up fight. My plane is returning, which is interesting. But I think we've successfully pushed them out of the cap. Get some good good damage numbers going on there as our secondaries open up, and then we should be able... Oh boy. That's not going to be good. I am going to be dead as a dodo. Out-of-time maneuver to take out that Myogi. We unfortunately got within range of the destroyers, which means I am dead. But we were able to effectively take out a destroyer and take him with us. So that was kind of what I was worried about for sure. Is I said it at the beginning of the match. The amount of destroyers on the enemy team, even with as nimble as the Kongo is for a battleship, it's still a battleship. So at those sort of ranges where you're starting to get within like 4 kilometers of destroyers and they're able to use their smoke, unfortunately, I had to eat those torpedoes and go down. But I think it was for the greater good. And the priority target, the enemy battleship, the Myogi, presented itself. So I had to turn and I had to engage him. And I had to turn broadside, get all my turrets on him, because he was the priority target. He was the biggest threat. And just looking at the team score, I didn't feel too bad about it. But the main thing is I put myself in a position where those destroyers could take torpedoes at me because I put myself in the vanguard position. I was the closest ship to them, and obviously I'm a battleship, so I'm a priority target for them. But I had to do it because I had to flex back. I had to get in the cap. I had to spot them out as they were capping for our team, reset the cap, get in there to stop them capping even if we couldn't spot them. And you see, I kind of called it at the beginning of the match. I noticed just from the initial deployment that they were kind of massing around that 8 line, and I was worried about them breaking through. And so that's why I kind of started to turn around early, you know, to get back there in time if I need it. So it's just kind of another good example of reading the mini-map. You want to make sure that you're always looking down at that mini-map, or just bringing up the big map with M, and taking a look at, you know, where the ships are going, how the battle's developing, what flanks are folding, what flanks aren't folding, who's pushing who in what direction, and make sure that you put yourself and your ship in a position where you're going to be able to do the most good and save the game, most importantly. Now, this game's not out of the woods yet. I think we should be okay, given that we still have 2 pretty healthy battleships versus 2 cruisers, and yeah, that Atlanta's going to be dead pretty soon here. And then there's that Murmansk that we need to take care of as well. So hopefully they can avoid these Atlantis torpedoes. The Atlantis is a strange bird in that it's got only 5-inch guns, and it does have torpedoes, which is interesting for U.S. cruisers. But looks like we're able to take him out. So now we're just hunting down this last ship. Hopefully that Cleveland will turn and go into the cap just to kind of pressure him, just in case he does get away, because you don't want to be chasing them all over the map and then end up in a draw. That would be bad. So I'm actually going to go ahead and indicate that to the team. Just, you know, because if this guy wanted to, he could start to, you know, head out towards the 1 line and really, you know, try to get away from us. And try to draw the match out into a draw. But we don't want that, so hopefully, I would really like this Cleveland to get into the cap, but it looks like he wants to have a gun battle. But this guy's kind of wandered into the Myogi's sights here, so he might be going down short. If this guy puts a good broadside into him, it's okay broadside, but now the Fuso is also raining shells down on him, and the Cleveland has him in his sights as well, so that's a GG. So we'll go ahead and give them a GG, because that Murmansk should be going down real soon. This last salvo from the Cleveland, and ooh, he's got 40 health left. I've never seen a ship get that low. I really haven't. But this one should do it. Unless he misses. This is crazy. Maybe the Mogami gets the kill. Looks like the Mogami gets the kill. Or Myogi. I keep mixing those two up. That's two very close words. Anyway, so pretty good game, as you can see. 221,000 credits, 5,352 XP earned. Now that is, again, running a premium account, and that is doubled. This was my first win of the day in the Congo. Only with that one Citadel hit, 20 target hits, 5 modules destroyed, and 2 ships sunk. One of those being that destroyer that sunk me. So a little tit for tat there. But this match, it's not so much about the numbers or the score per se, but just, again, the tactical flexibility that you have to have even in a battleship. You can't get tunnel vision on just one direction that you want to go on the map. Like, in this match, the ideal scenario for me would have been to go to the 1-2 line, battle it out in that long open water alley, eventually sink more ships than they were able to sink on our side, and then push down the 1-2 line around that island into their base area. That was, going into the plan, or going into the match, the plan that I had in my head. But as the game developed and, constantly keeping an eye on how the forces are moving and who's being sunk where and where the pushes are happening, I was able to spot out, okay, that scenario, my ideal plan, the plan that I wanted to happen when I was going into the match, isn't going to work out. That's going to end up in a loss for us. I still could have gone that way, We did do a lot of damage on that flank. We had, I think, a greater number of ships, so we could have pushed down the 1-2 line into their base area. But before we even got halfway there, we would have been capped out and the game would have been lost. So recognizing that that wasn't going to be a viable tactic, I kind of noticed, hey, they're probably going to push through 8 because it looks like they've sunk the ships that we sent back there to defend. And there's a bunch of destroyers over there I noticed from earlier. So I need to start flexing back towards the cap right now. Before they even started capping, I started to turn around. Looking, to still hold the 4 line and get some good shots on the enemy bigger ships that were over there. But at the same time, put myself in a position where when they did start capping, I was able to actually get into the cap and stop it and spot them out, more importantly, for the cruisers behind me, who started to turn around, I think, right after I did, or when the cap actually started to happen. If I hadn't been there, they honestly probably would have been able to cap out, because I do believe there are 2 or 3 of their enemy destroyers that were in our cap, which is, it's not that wouldn't have been a very fun game. Would have been a very short game, and it wouldn't have been a very fun game, and it would have been a loss for our team. So just that tactical flexibility and that awareness that you have to have for how the match is developing is really the most important thing for consistent wins. And it happened to work out that I finished top on the base experience in this game as well. I wasn't actually expecting that because I didn't really get to shoot that much at that big of targets. Only really able, I think we only hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I guess we hit 6 ships on the enemy team, so that was pretty good. And we sunk that cruiser and then sunk that destroyer at kind of point-blank range, which I'm glad that shell actually hit him. And if you look at what we're able to do here with the guns, 20 hits for 45,000 damage of AP, and then that one salvo of HE we fired at the very beginning, one of those hit for 886 damage. And then we got some secondaries in on the action as well. Once we closed to very close range with those destroyers, and then with the enemy Myogi as well, as they were kind of coming into our cap to try to, just man the barricade and push them out of our cap with our sheer force of will. Ended up dying for it because those destroyers, I think, were very pissed off at me that I interrupted their cap party. But hey, sometimes that's the price you pay for a victory. You can't survive them all. But I'm glad that we got the win and we're able to finish top on experience. So not too shabby of a game. I hope you guys enjoyed this live comm in the Congo. I don't play battleships that much. That's why I'm still only at the Congo. I really just prefer the cruisers, just for their rate of fire and for their kind of better tactical flexibility. But battleships can be fun. It's fun just to, have those big guns and fire them and see those big damage numbers pop up. Especially when you're able to put an AP shell, a 14-inch AP shell, through the destroyer that launched torpedo spreads at you and blow him out of the water. right before you die. So that's always fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.